Lisa continues to get stronger in the Caribbean as it moves closer to Belize and Mexico. Now, there's another area in the Caribbean that will have to be watched as we move into next week, and there are indications that the Caribbean could be a hotspot even through the middle of November. Oh, and Tropical Storm Martin formed earlier on Tuesday. That one's just going to impact the fish, but we'll break that down at the end of the video. Hey, what's up? I'm meteorologist Jonathan Caicos. We talk and track all things weather. I would love to know where you guys are watching from. Post that in the comments below. A multi-day severe weather threat is also possible through the central part of the United States. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Here is Lisa in the Western Caribbean. We were fearful that this could happen. Some high-resolution models were hinting at this thing getting better organized right up until landfall, and it certainly has that look. It's passing through northern Honduras right now. The center is still offshore, but it's on its way towards Belize, maybe even parts of southern Mexico in the Yucatan. Here is that high-res future radar. We're fast-forwarding to 11 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Some of those outer bands going to start to work their way toward Belize and southern Mexico. Here is the progression, though, and unfortunately showing continued organization and strengthening with the storm as it closes in. This is 5 o'clock in the evening now, and this is when conditions start to go downhill real fast in Belize in southern Mexico. The strongest part of the storm is that outer eye wall there as it starts to work its way toward 11 o'clock, midnight, and then through the first few hours of Thursday morning. That is going to be the worst of it for our friends in Belize and southern Mexico. And you see it then start to work on shore. Very heavy rainfall going to continue through most of the day on Thursday. One of the trends that we are watching here, and something to be mindful of, especially on the northern side of Belize and into southern Mexico, note that the high-res future modeling here showing it take the northern side of the forecast cone. This is not the only model that suggests that it might start to tick north a little bit. So again, just be mindful of that as we move forward in time. I'm going to continue to watch that for you guys, but it looks like it might try to ride up on the northern side of the cone. Remember, the cone only counts to where the center could bounce around. Note that most of the heavy rain is even well to the north. So as we get into southern Mexico, we are likely going to have significant impacts as well. We've been talking a lot in these videos that we would likely see an active Caribbean setup through at least the middle of November, and now there is a new area to watch. This is all because of a big dip in the jet stream that's going to sink down in towards the Bahamas and eventually into the Eastern Caribbean. That could spin up something tropical and then lift it back into the extreme Southwest Atlantic, potentially threatening the United States as we move into next week. Back stateside, we could have a multi-day severe weather outbreak in the plains as cold air from Canada rushes into the lower 48 and warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico surge up. There's going to be a clash of those air masses, which could create any mode of severe weather, damaging winds, tornadoes, big-time hail, something we are watching both Thursday and then again on Friday for Tornado Alley. I promised earlier that we would talk about Martin to close out this video, and here is Martin, meandering through the North Atlantic, but expected to become a powerhouse over the next few days. Look at this, forecast to become a hurricane in the North Atlantic, an 80-mile-per-hour storm at that. But even as it loses its tropical characteristics and becomes post-tropical, that's what those white circles are in the forecast cone. Look at those wind gusts, up to 100 miles an hour as it closes in on Greenland. Further up your screen still as we move into the night of November 3rd, an 85-mile-per-hour sustained wind, 100-mile-per-hour gusts. And again, this is all because it's merging with a non-tropical entity, a big cold front, big upper low, and that's going to head towards Greenland, maybe extreme western Iceland as well. All right, so worst of the weather again when it comes to Lisa for Belize in southern Mexico. Going to start on Wednesday afternoon, gradually get worse through the evening, with the worst of the weather happening from Wednesday evening through Thursday morning. Gradual improvements again come back our way as we move through the day on Thursday. And then we're going to continue to look deeper in the Caribbean with more development possible, really not only next week, but really through the middle of the month. So things are likely going to stay active. If you love the weather, if you like this content, we would love to have you in this weather community. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We talk and track all things weather, and we do it together. Thanks again. Post where you are watching from in the comments, and we will catch you next time.